morning every day from life after the Mad Ultra. Just kidding, life after the Appalachian Trail. But several months afterwards now. Has it been months now? We're in the new year. It's supposed to be December. I think it's been a full month since we got off the Appalachian Trail. And then we ran, Robert Birdcall ran 70 miles in an ultra, and I ran 54 actually. Well, who's counting? Anyways, and we are doing our first run back out Lookout after all of that. Feeling stiff and tired. How you feeling, baby?
Well, I didn't want to run, but now I feel fine about it.
Awesome. What are 4 positives or pro things that you felt that you experienced going southbound? And just so y'all understand the time frame, so we summited Katahdin July 2nd, right? Mm-hmm. And then we finished July 3rd. And then we finished at Springer on December 12th. So overall, it was about 5.5 months. And we went southbound. So I wanted to ask you, baby. Mm-hmm. I think that there's maybe a lot of people. So southbound is not really the typical way to go, or traditional. I don't know, whatever. Not a lot of people go southbound.
Well, the first thing that I think might help people depending on where they live, but we were walking home. We were walking in the direction of our house, which we didn't do the last time, but I think it really helped this time. So that's the first one.
Beautiful 52 degrees out here, y'all. Just gorgeous. Oh man, I'm so grateful we got out here. It was hard getting out. Now we made it. Don't forget to get out too. Also, I got holes in my gloves. And it's quick phone access.
Okay, the second one, of course, is the less trail crowd. The less substantial bubble, if there was even a southbound bubble at all. Just small groups of us, really.
So I feel like we left at the end of the southbound season. So we were at the last quote unquote bubble. We saw several people.
Perfect. It was perfect as far as the trail being crowded.
Yeah.
It wasn't at
We
all.
saw several people in the logbooks. So there was a fair amount of people that were ahead of us. I just wanted to mention that. Keep going.
Yeah, but in our local area, there was probably a dozen people. Then the third benefit for me going southbound is the season, the bugs. So a lot less bugs. The weather was a lot nicer. The temperatures were a lot more bearable. We essentially got to skip the humidity of the south, which was really nice.
By starting southbound, you do get to hike up north in the summer, which is the perfect time to be up north. So granted, there was several times, especially in the White Mountains and everything, where there were a lot of people just day hiking or doing the whites or whatnot. But as far as actual thru hikers, once we got past that section, it really started to thin out. And that's when we really saw a lot of the shelters being empty, a lot of the hostels being empty. And I think, so that it was a benefit for us, because we're a married couple and we like each other, and roughly 50 people leave on the Appalachian Trail per day during the thru hiking season, and that means about 3,000 to 4,000 people are starting the Appalachian Trail headed northbound from the Springer terminus. So when we talk about not wanting to be in the party central of thru hiking season,
that's what we're talking about. Exactly.
And for various reasons, as I'm sure you can imagine, when there's so many people on the trail, it makes it hard to find camping spots. A lot of people are not amazing about with their privy system usage or lack thereof. Trust me, I know this. So
yeah, the northbound beginning of the Appalachian Trail attracts a lot of new hikers, and they're not so clean, and they don't quite know how to act on the trail.
yes, you get to experience the Shenandoah in the fall. Now, if we had left a little bit earlier, we might have been already to the Smoky Mountains when we were experiencing that fall foliage. And I thought it was beautiful. I feel like a lot of times people heading north experience a big wet season. And we just didn't really see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great season. So you're experiencing the fall foliage through all like the Vermont, the Shenandoah area, and potentially later. We followed the fall quite a ways.
The fall colors essentially follows you along the trail as you go southbound. It's really
just
nice.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, a snowfall in the Smoky Mountains. That was nice, hiking through that.
Yeah.
That was a nice part of the season. Although the early people who leave northbound get that as well sometimes.
They do, yes.
Like, we didn't get norovirus or anything like that.
That's a huge thing. First time I ever introduced to a trail, to a cosmic brownie. Just on the Appalachian Trail. Some trail magic. Okay, so what are some negatives, at least 3 negatives for going southbound?
You start with the hard stuff right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
So you start with the biggest steps, the biggest climbs, the biggest, rockiest terrain. You start with the hardest stuff right off the bat, which for me wasn't such a negative, but I could see how it would be a negative for somebody else.
It's scary. You gotta get down now. Yeah. If they were beginners or really new to backpacking, it could be pretty intimidating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which could cause an injury, and that could put you out right off the bat at the beginning of the trail.
Yeah.
Also, less trail magic. A lot less trail magic. So if you're really looking forward to a lot of trail magic, then you're going to get less of it going southbound. I guess it depends on the person, because less crowds, if you're single and you're trying to meet people, maybe,
Yeah.
you go northbound, you kind of want to meet people. You kind of want it to be crowded. But I tell you what, though, one of the worst things is to try to go to a hostel and it's booked and you have no place to stay. Or you roll into a shelter and there's no place to stay and there's tents everywhere. There's no place to pitch your tent. It happened to us one time going southbound, but going northbound, it probably happens regularly.
Yeah. A few times at the end of the season, it was like...
You're sort of encroaching on their off season.
Yeah. And it made it a little bit more difficult. We called a couple places that were kind of shut down for the season. Granted, we did leave a little bit later, but I do know that there was a group that finished 2 weeks after us. So you're into winter hiking, but if you're down for winter hiking, it's fine. But I did notice that could potentially be a little bit more planning since you're reaching the end of the season. But by then you have so much experience that you're like, okay, it's fine. You could figure it out. And there are still places that are open. So I did want to mention that. We saw 1 tick. 1. Okay, y'all.
That's pretty big.
That's huge. So that's a big thing. But again, if you are a relatively new backpacker, starting northbound, which could potentially be a negative for southbound, was that there are a lot of resources in the beginning. So there was a lot of hostels. There's a lot of trail angels out and about, like you mentioned, doing the trail magic. And there's a lot of...
You're talking about going northbound.
I'm talking about going northbound.
She has gone northbound like 1,000 miles on the AT, just so you guys know.
Yes. Went northbound on 2 different sections. I did the first 300 miles to run about Hot Springs, and then from Hot Springs on to like the Grayson Highlands. And I did go northbound both times. And I left later in the season too. So the first time I left beginning of May, the second time I left the end of May. There was a lot of people, and you'd go to pitch your tent behind the shelter or something, and there would be like toilet paper under the rocks, and it was gnar, yeah. And you don't get any solitude. I think that's a big thing, is like Appalachian Trail is a very social trail. It's like friendly neighborhood trail. It's your backyard. It's a lot of communities love it. It has a great like trail angel system and community and maintenancers. You know what I'm saying?
Maintenancers.
Yes. And so you don't necessarily hike the Appalachian Trail if you're looking for a lot of solitude. But
But in return, you get a nice clean trail.
Yeah, a lot of maintenance, trail maintenance,
yeah,
a lot of trail magic, and just a lot of access to the trail, which is
good
huge.
because of all the people. So,
exactly. Yeah.
Every year, I'm sure the trail gets kind of damaged and then gets cleaned up.
So one question for you, baby, that we get asked a lot is, would you change the time frame that we left at all?
No.
Yeah.
Nope, I wouldn't change it at all.
That answers it real quick.
I said it once and I'll say it again. I was given an amazing trip. And that's that.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with our trip. I couldn't have asked for better weather.
Same. We did not really experience a lot of rain. And that's saying a lot for the Appalachian Trail being a very damp and kind of wet trail.
The total length of the Appalachian Trail is 2,190 miles long-ish. The states that it crosses is 14 of them: Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. The elevation gain, 465,000 feet of elevation gain, through roughly the equivalent of climbing Mount Everest 16 times.
Can you believe we did that? I did. Yeah, I did know that.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of elevation. A lot of rocks.
The southern terminus, Springer Mountain, is 3,782 feet. The northern terminus is Mount Katahdin, 5,269 feet. Average through hike takes anywhere from 5 to 7 months is typical. So cool, we were on the fast end.
Awesome.
At 5.5 months.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Through hiker completion rate is roughly 20 to 25%. So we're in the 20-25%.
That's so cool.
Yep.
So 25% of that 3,000 to 4,000 people.
Okay, so there's about 260 shelters along the way. The highest point on the AT is Clingman's Dome in the Smokies, 6,643 feet.
Which is now called Kiwohai.
Oh, really?
Clingman's Dome?
Yeah, I know they changed the name, but I couldn't remember what it was called.
I might have butchered it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. All right, the annual through hiker attempts is approximately 3,000 to 4,000 people each year.
These are questions we didn't get to while on the trail. Can you set up tents in the shelter?
Yes.
But
next question.
There's some etiquette to follow this. You technically aren't supposed to, I don't think. I think it's common courtesy considered not to set up a tent in the shelter. But if you find yourself alone in the shelter in sub-freezing temperatures, then I would say, yes, you're allowed to set up a tent shelter.
Yes, I would say here's the long and short of it. If you're a normal person out hiking during normal hiking times, like during a nice summer hiking season when there's probably a lot of people out and there's going to be a lot of people in your shelter and at your campground, and you're like sort of at a local spot, never set your tent up in the shelter. Do not set your tent up in that shelter. That's super rude.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to be able to use those spots in that shelter if your tent wasn't set up on a tent.
And a lot of them have mice, and you could just go ahead and save your tent.
But if it's the middle of winter and it's like going to get down to 13 degrees that night, and there's nobody else out backpacking because nobody's crazy enough to be out during that season,
and all the mice
and you're the only ones, and you're gonna freeze, and it's gonna be horrible.
This is a question on far out and whether or not you could set an alarm system to like notify you if you were nearing a water source and stuff, which is a really, really neat idea. But no. Far out is just a mapping system. It's just a GPS map that allows common hikers to comment on water sources, essentially kind of like a news, what would you call it? A news feed. And those only get updated when you have service, and it is primarily just a mapping system that has all of your water sources and your shelters and stuff like that marked. Next question was, did we take vitamins and did we crave vegetables and fruit? Did not take vitamins. On the PCT we did. But on the AT, I don't feel like we needed it as much, or I don't know, it just didn't happen. And then do we crave vegetables and fruit? I think so, yeah. I think more so it's something we look forward to when we're getting home.
Yeah, I think mostly towards the end, I just craved not eating the same junk food.
Yeah.
I just wanted something else.
I think you're like craving fresh food.
Yeah.
So it could be fruits and vegetables, but it was
or it
also
could just be
like
fresh meats or fresh potatoes.
Anything not in a package.
Right.
All right, this is a question about our 2 side quests that we did. So we did one to New York City and then one to Washington, D.C. Being out of context to trail life, do you ever feel out of place? Were you ever treated like homeless people? Yes. Next question.
Next question, yeah. Well, you ready to go see the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah. No, give him a good answer, Toots.
Well, I mean, through hikers on a side quest are essentially the same as homeless people, basically. We have no place to go. We're not staying in a hotel. Usually we're staying in a hostel or something like that.
I was gonna say we have nicer gear, but by then
you just stink, and no one can tell you're actually wearing decent backpacking gear. It doesn't really matter how you're treated, right? It never bothered us.
There was a couple of times that it was, you get treated a little poorly.
People think you're gonna steal stuff from them. That's funny.
That was kind of like you kind of like take a little bit of offense, but then you're like, okay, that tracks. I mean, like, look at what I smell like.
Yeah. Question is for both of us, I think.
Married couples.
Yeah, what is it like being a married couple on trail, and do we have any tips for other married couples who might be doing a through hike?
Yeah. Oh, this could get really interesting.
I tell you what one thing that Boss Bae and I do for each other is we give each other privacy even when there is no privacy.
Yes.
So like,
you don't have to even go into detail.
yeah. If one of us is doing like a wet nap bath or something like that, you just kind of turn and you just don't look.
Yeah.
I know you said don't go into detail, but I feel like some details needed.
Yeah, I think you said it very well.
You have an asset by having a partner, so basically you're safer than everybody else because you always got somebody looking out for you.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. However, you also have to hike your own hike. So there's a little balancing act going on there where you're hiking your own hike, but you also are checking in with your partner because you're their safety net. You want to utilize that. Don't demand anything of your partner that they don't want to do. Let them hike ahead or behind. But like just stay within like say a half a mile of each other.
Well, I mean, or whatever you agree upon. Yeah.
But
that's
generally
speaking,
for
us.
Yeah. So you can be each other's safety net, but also give each other the freedom to. Sometimes one person wants to hike fast, the other person's tired, they want to take a break. You don't have to demand one person always break with the other person or hike fast or slow.
Yeah, I guess some people might be like set meeting points and be like, we'll meet at the shelter tonight.
Yeah, we don't do that though. We just, whoever's hiking ahead, if it's been 20 or 30 minutes or even longer sometimes, then you just stop and you wait.
Also, we listen to a lot of things on our own. So we each have like listening preferences, but we both enjoy listening to stuff. So I think that's a
podcasts and audiobooks and music.
Yeah. Lastly, thank you so much for watching. That is one way to help support our channel completely, is just by hanging out with us and walking along with us and walking in your life so that you get exercise. If you have any questions or comments on our discussion today, please leave us a comment and we would love to answer that. And
what do you guys think about taking a...
Don't mention the words. No. We got some huge plans coming up and brewing in the pot for 2026. And stay tuned. We're not going to tell you yet. Yeah. We must build the excitement.
I think we're just grabbing a map and,
Okay, you got your map? Do you need any direction?
First a Coke, then a coffee, then another Coke, then another coffee.
If you didn't know, Birdcall and I, Robert, wrote a book on the Appalachian Trail while we were through hiking.
Yes.
So you painted, I wrote, and that book is available for pre-order, $25. That's what we're talking about. Anyways.
The pre-order pays for roughly half the book, and it helps with the production of it. When the heck am I going to be able to pick up my book? It is in the creative process right now. We're putting it all together, designing it, making the cover. Susie has just finished with her first full edit.
Snap.
So the first draft is complete. We've moved on to the second
You
draft.
just dropped that, didn't you?
Yep, just dropped it.
Y'all, we got some artwork up on our website, TravelWritePaint.com. We got more of Appalachian Trail through hiking artwork and inspired artwork up on the website. So make sure you check those out. That's a great way to help support our channel.